So you're basically, I guess, saying to businesses, hang in there. Things are shifting and pivoting as we speak. And is that
No, not
your
really.
advice?
No, I mean, get off your duff off your couch, man, and use that brilliant mind of yours that started the last business, or while your current company shut down, take that ingenuity and do something with it.
First question. Tell us a little bit about your business and why did you start it to begin with?
Um, okay, I'm Anselm. I'm the CEO, founder of Ecologic Solutions. We incorporated in 2005. A lot of people ask why, or how the company started. And I think I usually go back and give credit to mom and dad. Our father was a research PhD biochemist at Stanford University, and then to Leary, Long Island Research Institute. And every year our vacation was going to a national or state park, and we were told to leave it better than the way we found it. So we would find ourselves as four kids hauling out other people's trash, quote unquote, to be recycled, and leaving the campsites better than the way we found it. Then for nearly a decade in the 90s, way ahead of our time, my brother and I, we're running, he started a eco retail store. So it had 12 different departments of environmentally preferable goods, and did that for nearly 10 years. And I was like the chief resource product research officer. And then I would train teams, sometimes represent that information to press. And that really set a great foundation of understanding environmentally preferable products across 12 categories, from body care to pet food to construction to stationery to cleaning products. And then when my wife was pregnant with our first, we were driving upstate to Woodstock, where we have a home where I'm sitting now. She was pregnant with Finn, our first child, who's just turned 18 yesterday. And I walked into a rest stop restroom on the way up here, and there was a poster greeting me on the way in saying, "Proud to be cleaned by Lysol, sponsored by Marriott." I was taken aback because unusually I know that Lysol is a toxic product, and used to be a morning after spray for women between the 20s and the 40s, actually. I was taken aback, and I had the aha moment of my professional life where I was drumming in rock bands at night and doing some sustainable business consulting, and hit the ground running, started the company using partnerships that I was aware of with green products, and then putting the pieces together, researching the market segments, ultimately settling mostly on restaurants. Food service operators seem to have the least layers to the onion to get commitments, so the shortest sales cycle. So today we have over 100 different environmentally preferable products. And the way I say it is that we're a B Corp certified, award-winning clean tech manufacturer of cleaning, maintenance, sanitizing products specific to the institutional user, so businesses. And about 10 years ago, after starting the company in 2005, discovered a novel technology called ECA, which stands for electrochemically activated technology. It hearkened on the old laws of electrolysis in the 1800s, where some of us probably remember doing a lab in chemistry where you were asked to bring in a battery, say a large flashlight, and bring that into the lab. And you attach two wires to the anode and the cathode, the positive and negative of a battery, and put those two separate wires into a jar or a beaker of water. And then the lab was to draw how many bubbles you see on the anode and the cathode submerged in the water. That kind of simply proves the laws of electrolysis, which in chemistry, every element in chemistry except one has a positive or negative charge. Opposites attract in chemistry. When you run like H2O, H is positive, O is negative, NaCl, salt, sodium chloride in this case, Na is positive, Cl is negative. when you run water over these electrodes, the H is pulled to the negative side and the O is pulled to the positive side. And these elements in chemistry are temporarily pulled apart and drawn to the opposite poles of, say, in that lab experiment, the battery. And then this technology, ECA, is doing something similar, but adding sodium chloride to the water and doing the same thing with NaCl as it is H2O.
Mm-hmm.
And inside this ECA technology, you charge salt water now, and then the sodium chloride and the H2O is pulled to the opposite poles of the cell of this ECA technology and kind of free and floating. And then they're drawn to the opposite poles again. And where the novel patent and technology takes over is these different positive or negative electrons have different sizes, and they slip through this membrane and then find each other again, or reattracted to NaOH, which is sodium hydroxide, and HOCl, which is hypochlorous acid, a form of free available chlorine. HOCl is. So sodium hydroxide is an all-purpose cleaner. It's super concentrated. It's easy off. It's a dish machine detergent. It's a laundry detergent. It's a very effective detergent that has no suds, no color, no smell, but very effective and 99.9% water. The hypochlorous acid, HOCl, is a form of free available chlorine. There's two forms of chlorine you find on the planet. One you find in bleach, which is high pH and very reactive, very dangerous. And the other is you find in your body to find infection. HOCl is generated in our bodies naturally to fight infection. You have saline solution that runs through our body. Say you're cracking up, you're laughing so hard that a tear rolls down your face, it's salty. You have electricity that's generated in your heart. And when we get an infection, white blood cells rush to this pathogen and off-gas the same form of chlorine, hypochlorous acid, that we're generating in ECA technology. So when we discovered this, we thought, oh my gosh, this is the holy grail, the new disruption for the company. Complements these 100 everyday use products with a technology that is now called more on-site generator, because inside Stony Brook University, you can put in one of these pieces of equipment. Of course, we would help them with that. But then they're making their own two streams. All they need is raw materials or salt, water, and electricity. And then inside the university, they could be making their own detergent and disinfectant. Both have multiple applications for the university or pretty much any marketplace you can imagine, from agriculture. It could be used topically as a pesticide. It became running it into irrigation lines to kill biofilm, to have a faster bloom. You can use it topically on your skin as an antiseptic. It's regulatory approved, EPA registered, hospital grade disinfectant, FDA approved on-site generator of a pesticide, even USDA NOP approved organic.
Let me just step in and
Yep.
Recap where we are so far with this. So what you're saying is that when you started the business, you created these chemicals essentially that are all natural versions, B2B, where you sell to other businesses, chemicals, cleaning chemicals, and the one that you've been talking about is the, I'm going to butcher, but it's the one where you take salt, water, and electricity, and it becomes a sanitizer. But you've been selling this.
It's two streams. It's two streams. The on-site generator, or ECA technology, stands again for electrochemically activated technology. That's an on-site generator of two streams in our version. It creates one stream as a detergent. The second stream is a disinfectant.
Got it. Okay. Because that's going to become really important as we talk about the next question, which is, how was your business impacted when COVID-19 first became a concern in New York?
Well, I mean, huge. Different than a lot of businesses that are still shut down. 70-80% of our business was in restaurants up until the pandemic. And as we all know now, all of them are shuttered around the country. So where normally we were renting, installing, and then charging rent on the ECA device on-site generator, we immediately pivoted, knowing that this disinfectant is becoming difficult to source in the supply chain. So the supply chain in this pandemic has affected everybody. You can't get bottle caps. The normal bottles you would get, sprayers, pumps, and then you can't get gel or alcohol for a hand sanitizer that everybody was wanting to order. New York City wanted 1 million gallons of hand sanitizer in alcohol form. So we immediately pivoted and used these ECA devices to start producing in volume, and fixing them up, because normally what we'd rent install, so we were quickly tuning them up, investing heavily into what money we didn't have to repurpose these and get these systems running again. And we now have today about 15, hopefully soon by the end of next week, 20 systems that can make about 450 gallons a day per system of a disinfectant that's ready to use, but is safe enough to use as a hand sanitizing spray.
Which is a beautiful dovetail into my next question, which is, what have been the biggest concerns from your customers?
Biggest concerns?
Yeah.
Because they haven't heard of hypochlorous acid, or what we call it as
Right.
effectant, as in disinfectant, but effectant, and because it's not an alcohol-based hand sanitizer, and that's what everyone's telling them they must try to find. And we've been getting orders for thousands of cases of alcohol-based hand sanitizer, and no one can supply it because the huge run on alcohol-based hand sanitizer. So everyone's gotten, or they've been taught forever, use alcohol-based or quat-based disinfectant sanitizers.
Mm-hmm.
So the only real pushback is like, hey, this disinfectant is also chlorine, but it's the type that runs in your body, and because of the pH, it's so much more effective than bleach. And they're like, what? And then they tested the parts per million using the same chlorine test strips they would on bleach. So the only pushback is like, everybody fears what they don't know.
Understood. Yeah. 2 more questions. This one is related to your employees. How are they doing? How are they doing?
We were scared, nervous, knew we could help. We're an essential business. So we knew we had to do something. Some people, half the company's working virtually. The other half are helping get these equipment running. And some, like myself, are making donations around the city of these solutions. So, I think people are a little bit in a slumber because they're nervous, like they should be. They're stressed out because of all the information we're getting from the media or medical. And so it kind of puts a pall over their energy, I would say. But yet there's a few leaders in the company that maybe are energized by it, like myself, and running as fast as I can. I'm probably working harder than I ever have, because we know we can help and produce this option, and get it into people's hands. So
have you
all the
lost
different
any
moving
employees? I mean,
parts.
this is really great answers to my question. Have you lost any employees in the process, or no, not really?
No, we've been fighting hard and also hoping for the CARES, PPP, paycheck relief to come in. And we just got news this past week that our bank faltered on it, or the government ran out by the time they were maybe in line to get the funding from the federal government, which is bad news because we're hemorrhaging a lot of cash to keep people gainfully employed. And
well, no, this is very, very helpful. And so you're basically, I guess, saying to businesses, hang in there. Things are shifting and pivoting as we speak. And is that?
No, not really. No, I mean, get off your duff off your couch, man, and use that brilliant mind of yours that started the last business, or while your current company shut down. Take that ingenuity and do something with it.
Good.
Create the next widget, the new solution. There's a serious situation, a serious problem. And I think for the best entrepreneurs or businesses, they're going to figure something out to help. And it'll be a new business is born. But take all that amazing creativity, whether you're a marketing designer, restaurateur, a lot of restaurants I know in New York City, or people that were let go by the administration, they're coordinating all the food from all these restaurants that are now shut down, but to make meals for people that can't get them. So there's a lot of amazing stories out there of how people are pivoting because they had no choice, or maybe that's how their DNA is. I got to do something. And it reminds me post Sandy. It reminds me post 9/11. where
Mhm.
certainly New Yorkers, a lot of New Yorkers are the type that just want to rip their shirt off to do something to help.
Yeah.
So take that energy and, use it to good.
Yep. Love it. And I really thank you. I know you got to get back to your stuff here, and I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, I've got
And
vultures and hawks circling me right now, trying to
oh
get me
man,
to get back to tilling the earth while it's beautiful out. So
good. Well, do that, and hopefully they're going to stay up there so you can keep doing it.
now I'll be heading back to the city tomorrow morning. But getting some dirt under my nails gives me some new energy to go back to the Mad Apple and get this done.
Okay. All right. Thanks. I really appreciate your time.